Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and today I'm joined by Angel.
Hello.
We're back with more Port Charles Tempted, Week 6. So I'll roll the credits and we'll jump right into it. Okay, so all the couples are not trusting each other this week at all.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of mixing and matching a little bit.
Yeah.
So who do we start with? So last we saw Livy got caught in bed with a stranger by Jack, but she doesn't remember how she got in bed with the stranger.
Yeah.
Which feels icky. Like we're not gonna discuss consent and everything. That feels icky.
Yeah.
She keeps meeting up with Caleb in their lair in the catacombs.
With no plumbing.
With no plumbing. Although he must have installed something because there was a bubble bath.
Oh yeah, there was plumbing this episode.
So Eve just sounds like a ranting lunatic because she keeps telling Ian what Kevin told her about him possibly killing this woman that he was involved with in Africa who was married. So Ian goes to see Kevin and blames him for accuses him, I should say, of trying to take Eve from him. He's jealous of their relationship. And Lucy hears this argument off on the side. And while he's at Kevin's, Eve's packing up, and she's just like, "Your daddy can't be trusted. He's alive." She's like, "You gotta go."
Packing myself up. Bye.
But then she has these moments where she pauses and she's like, "But I love him." So she ends up taking Danny to Kevin's lighthouse apartment house, whatever. While they're arguing, she doesn't see Ian at first, and he's just like, "You're just gonna take my son and leave? Like what?" So he convinces her that he loves her and cares about her, and he would never hurt her, and they should go home. Even though Kevin's protesting that she shouldn't go with him. So they leave, and then Lucy is so hurt by how protective he is of Eve that she leaves.
Yep.
But I didn't take that as we're done, we're broken up. But when we see her talking to Jack in the hotel, she's like, "I left Kevin." I'm like, "You did?" I'm like, "I thought you were just in a fight." You just need time to cool off and you're gonna go for a walk or something. So yeah, things are happening very fast. People are very trigger happy to break up and make up and
must be some influence by with a capital C or something. I don't know.
What's her name? Valerie,
yeah.
I'm stuck in Sunset Beach. I'm like, Virginia, Vanessa. I'm like, it's a V. I know. Valerie gets a job at the recovery room, the bar, not the hospital. And Allison is not happy to see her. And she basically reverts back to accusing her of wanting Jamal. But Valerie doesn't hide it. She's pretty much just like, "No, I want him, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do." And she's like, and if you make a scene, she's like, Jamal's just going to blame you for attacking poor little old me.
Oh my
gosh. So when Jack and Lucy met up, I thought they were gonna hook up. I was kind of hoping for it because
I was hoping that would happen again.
Yeah, I didn't hate it last time. They even referenced it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is deja vu.
Karen is at the recovery room, and Frank is working. I guess Frank works there, and he's an EMT.
Yeah, I think he comes to the hospital and leaves the hospital. Like, I think I think General Hospital is like his hub. Like, there is no other hospital in Port Charles. So. I mean, unless he goes to Mercy, which is out of town.
No, but I guess he like works at the bar also.
Oh yeah, he works at the bar. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's an EMT and he works because it's his family's bar.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So some man sneaks in through the back and pulls a gun on the whole bar, and this felt like
Totally didn't see
those
that
random
coming.
like scenarios like early on. Like the
Yeah.
person in the hospital that like I forgot what it was. Was that they wouldn't see his wife or something because they didn't have insurance or something, so he pulled a gun.
Yeah.
There was something weird where they had like these random side characters, or the person that was on the roof that was going to jump.
Yeah.
That I think did jump actually.
I don't think they jumped.
No?
I think they got saved by Kevin.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I'm having this. It might be a different scene where Lucy's on the roof and she almost falls.
Yeah, Lucy was on the roof and she almost falls, but
I could also be thinking about the pilot in the elevator where Kevin was holding her by her arm while she was passed out.
Yeah.
Which you can watch on our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. So, what's his name? Jack.
Yeah.
I'm like Brian, Kevin.
Well, you got the name of the actor right, Brian. So.
Right. Jack went from wanting to propose to Livy until he found her in bed with another guy by accident, to breaking up with her. Like, what? This happened so quick.
Yeah, I mean, the guy finding her in bed with a guy would push you over the edge, right?
I mean, in real life, yeah, definitely. But like in the supernatural world that they live in, I don't know. It just felt very
well. They're newly supernatural. You know, they had time travel, they have vampires, and now they have the influence of a vampire. I mean, it's only been 3 months. Just kidding. 3 arcs.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's new. It's not like that. It's not like later where they're just like in the thick of it. So
yeah. Yeah. So they like break up. And so now okay. So what is the woman's name again that Ian allegedly killed but was in a relationship with?
Oh, well, I forgot her name then.
So she appeared at Eve's apartment.
Know.
So Eve sees her. And I was like, is this Livy? I was like, or is this really her?
The same thing.
Or is somebody else masquerading as this woman?
Mm-hmm.
But then when Jack bumped into her in the alley or the street and the scar fell, and then when he looked up it was Livy, I was like, Livy's just like flying around town pretending to be this woman.
Yeah.
When Livy was in the bathtub,
and
Caleb was going on and on about his revenge and how he has to be strong enough, but he has to get there before everybody finds out he's alive or whatever.
Yep.
I don't know. It was very centered on revenge, and I thought he was going to take his revenge out on Livy and like try and drown her in the tub.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to like push her head down or something.
You picked Jack over me.
Yeah. I was kind of like, how's this gonna go?
But then it's very like villain to talk about your entire plans with somebody.
Yeah, this is my master plan.
Keeping it to yourself.
After the bath, they're like snuggling and stuff, and oh no, this is during the bath because he's like kissing her neck and stuff. So he's touching her. He's like there. He's like trying to like tempt her by being like, you remember how it was when we made love? And she's like, I guess turned on by this, and I assume they made love because then they're in bed.
Mm-hmm.
But also he's telling her to rest so she could just be drained from all the supernatural stuff happening. So going back to the gunman at the bar. Karen has like no fear. She's just like approaching the guy, like, you're not gonna shoot me. And she's just
Yeah.
like about to grab the gun, but Frank like jumps over the bar and tackles the guy. And
she cuts her hand.
She cuts her hand, I guess, on the broken glass on the bar.
Broken glass of the bar, yeah, but she doesn't feel it.
Right. I wasn't sure what we were doing with this when they showed the cut. I wasn't sure if she was going to be like tempted by her own blood. I didn't know what was going to go on. It was all so that we could see her heal miraculously because now she has the vampire blood in her.
Yeah. Which, going back to the whole Karen thing, she calls Frank on the I guess on, they say Frank Scanlon, can you please report to the on-call room? And it's clearly Karen doing it.
Okay.
And then she's in her like underwear trying to seduce him and everything like that in the on-call room.
Yeah, and they sleep together in the on-call room.
And they sleep together in the on-call room.
And I'm like, people on the show always do that. Anybody could walk in at any time. Like, you're not the only ones that work here.
Yep.
And in a real hospital, that it would never be that quiet.
No.
In that on-call room, like, people would be going in and out all the time.
But I feel like this has happened before in the on-call room.
Like Ian and Eve slept together.
Ian, but I'm talking about pre-arcs too. So yeah. I'm sure Chris has banged many a woman in that on-call
room. Who was Karen talking to?
Was it Chris? I know he was.
No, it was somebody. No, it was Chris. You're right. Chris was the one that said it. He said something to somebody. I don't remember who it was, but it was at the bar. But he was like, you act like she got like stuck with a syringe of vampire blood or something, like trying to play it off like that's the most ridiculous thing that could ever happen. And they were like, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, that's actually what happened.
Going off of that, Gabrielle's in this episode. She so apparently she finds out that Chris has been like following her in the what is the retreat?
Right.
And she's really pissed off about that.
Yeah. And he plays it off as like, oh, you were just so irresistible. You're the most irresistible woman I ever saw. He's like, I couldn't get you off my mind or whatever. And she's like, you're weird. Stop.
You're weird. Stop.
So now Allison, Livy, because Livy's trying to like pit everybody against each other. Because now since Jack broke up with her and Caleb's influencing her, she's like full on burn it down now. So Jack and her are sitting with Allison, and she's like, look at Valerie. Look at the way she's looking at Jamal. Like, she's like basically all over him. Like, you deal with that? And Allison's like, fuck no, I'm not. And she like goes over there. And she like, oh, because Livy's like, I don't know how you deal with the fact that he was with her before you, like that he slept with her. And how do you know that her kid's not his kid?
And they're really stuck on the kid thing.
Yeah. So they mentioned Cedric. Was that the one that was running the biker gang?
I believe so. This was like pre-arcs though. This was around the time when Jamal was first introduced.
Okay. But like the ones that were at the beginning or the end of Time in a Bottle and
the beginning of Tainted Love, yeah.
Were they like supposed to be like his crew or something?
They were supposed to be his crew, I believe. I think they were exacting revenge on Jamal because of Cedric's death.
Oh, okay.
By Allison, I think. I think Allison killed him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But they never really resolved that, from what I understand. Like, they never really resolved like her killing Cedric. Yeah. But he was about to attack her, so I guess it was self-defense. So I guess they could have resolved it that way. So
I know Livy and Allison are supposed to be like, when we first started with them, like 17. Now they're like 18, 19, whatever. When Allison asked him like how it happened between him and Valerie, he says they were in high school. It was like their junior or senior year. It was like a football game night or something. I guess Cedric turned her down and they ended up hooking up.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the way he describes Cedric, it sounds like he used to beat her up.
Mm.
I guess Cedric is the father of her baby, as far as we
I'm
know.
thinking that too. Yeah.
But the way Jamal said it, I was like, oh, are you also supposed to be 18 or 19? I'm like, all these kids are just going through shit. I was like, no wonder they're acting so irrationally. They're teenagers and still have hormones flowing all over the place. I mean, I don't know how old Jack is. I don't know if he's supposed to be older.
I think they're all supposed to be the same age, around the same age, like maybe a year or two apart.
Rafe went to heaven, to the office
Yes.
space, I guess, and we see Jet Allen.
Yes. I hinted that last time, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know what to call this. I wanted to call it purgatory, but I don't think it is. This guy basically just like runs the angels and he sends them on mission. And Rafe had a line where he said, I care about these people, and he like named everybody, and I was like, I don't think you've met them all though, has he? I feel like he's only met Lucy.
He hasn't met everybody, but I mean, he's an angel. He can see everybody, so he probably was seeing them through. I mean, they're probably retconning this to death, but he probably was seeing them through their struggles in Tainted Love. And remember, he was gone for a bit between Tainted Love and Tempted, so he probably was overseeing everybody in that town or in that part of town. Because remember that unless you're Alan Quatermain, you're not in the arcs.
Right.
But or what's his name? Mac. I think Mac was in a few of the arcs, but
oh, they mentioned Alan, actually.
They mentioned Alan this week, yeah.
I think it was Gabby that said she was going to go to Alan Quatermain.
Yeah.
And report him. Chris for like stalking her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just the way, because I was thinking, I was like, visually, I don't think he's met everybody. I think just Kevin, Lucy, maybe
Lucy and Jack, because he walked in on them making love.
Oh, okay. And maybe
I don't think he's met Eve and Ian yet.
Okay, maybe not. I thought maybe Ian and Eve were maybe at Kevin's.
He definitely didn't meet Allison, and that's important.
Right.
What happens later.
Right. But he named everybody and was like, I care about these people. And I was like, you don't know them. But like you said, he's probably has the vested interest because he's been watching. Did they ever give Rafe wings? Do we ever see him with wings?
I don't think I don't think he has wings, but also, even though the show is on ABC and probably has a good budget, I'm sure they don't use CGI or anything like that.
Yeah.
Although,
didn't GH and even One Life to Live, when they had like the tornado or whatever, didn't they use CGI?
Yeah, but I'm talking about like this period of time, like early 2000s, like very early 2000s. I don't think they used CGI for Port Charles at all.
Okay.
If they did, comment below. I don't remember.
Also tell us when so we can watch it.
Tell us when so you can watch it. We can probably watch it for Patreon. Just kidding. Probably
not. So I'm trying to think what else happened. So Eve goes home with Ian, but then she leaves again.
Yeah.
They get into a fight, and then he leaves because he's like sick of going back and forth. He goes to the. I guess this is this supposed to be the Port Charles Hotel?
Yeah.
Where Livy is now staying. Not Livy. Lucy is staying for the night because she doesn't want to go home. She doesn't want to like deal with possible "I'm sorry" messages from Kevin or that he'll find her there. So she's staying there for the night.
There's an interesting scene where she like swings her bag on her wrist.
She what?
She swings her bag on her wrist, like her little pocket.
Oh, really?
She'll swing it around, and I was like, "That's so cute. That's like very. That's so Lucy of her."
Ian. She runs into Ian, who we just said is staying there, and they end up talking, I guess, in her room. Yeah, because Kevin goes, so it has to be her room. And I was like, are these two gonna hook up?
I thought so too.
She's in her robe. It was very weird how she sat. She kind of sat on his lap.
Mm-hmm.
It was very weird. I don't know why I wasn't expecting somebody to walk in, but because I guess I was so focused like on are these two gonna kiss or hook up that I wasn't thinking somebody. But Kevin comes barging in, sees this, blames them of hooking up, and then Ian plays into everything that Kevin's saying to like fuck with him. He's like, "You're right." He's like, "I do this all the time," and Lucy's like, "No, no," and he's like, "Yeah, no, love her. Me and her we just had sex everywhere all night." And Kevin kind of like believes it.
Mm-hmm.
So then Kevin says, "Oh, did you use the same line that you used on Eve and woman whose name we can't remember? The always line, like I love you always.
For always. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that like sobers Ian up to stop playing around, and he's like, "How do you know that?" He's like, he says he's only ever said that to Eve. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So now Kevin barges out, leaves. Lucy like runs after him. She gets dressed and runs after him because she has to defend herself now.
Yeah.
I think that was it.
No.
What did I miss?
So right after that, she sees somebody running, and it's Christina.
Oh, right. So yeah, like he gets outside the hotel, she sees like a kid and like through the corner of her eye, and she goes to see what it is, and then she sees Christina. I remember you saying Julie comes back, but that's probably in Miracles Happen, right?
Yes, it's a Miracles Happen, but I'm thinking it's an illusion by Caleb at this point.
Okay.
Or maybe because I didn't really see Tempted, just to be honest with everybody in the audience. I didn't really see Tempted because school got in the way. Yeah. I remember I think I might have fell off of soaps a little bit after 9/11 because like they weren't on regularly that 1 week, and then I had school. I think I was like doing the fall play at my school, so I think that really got me off track. Okay. So because I would have at least have watched. I mean, and I didn't have SoapNet either because that was a digital package at the time.
Okay.
Like we had basic cable, and SoapNet didn't fall into basic cable. Okay. So I don't know for sure if
Julie comes back.
The beginning of Christina and Julie coming back. Excuse the fire truck. I don't know.
Oh, I thought that was me. I was about to.
Better not be my house.
So yeah, I feel like it's probably an illusion.
Yeah.
Probably just to like lure her somewhere, maybe to hold her captive. I'm not really sure. So
yeah.
Now we're halfway through. 9/11 kind of like
shifted everything.
Took a week away from this arc, so it's only 12 weeks versus the usual 13. So yeah, I don't know if like something big is gonna happen now that we're at the midpoint. But the midpoint could also be why everybody's like breaking up and I'm all crazy now because now
the third act breakup.
Was there anything else I missed that you wanted to mention?
That's basically it, I think. There wasn't too much that we missed.
There
was anything that we missed.
I mean, it was only a week and it's a 20-minute show. But it felt like quick. I was like, oh, it's over. Like I was about to watch the next one because I thought it wasn't done yet.
Yeah, it went by so quick, and I like that the person who recorded like the omnibus is what they call it, or the weekend ones.
Yeah, where you would say Monday's episode,
and then they kept saying that like Port Charles Tainted Love was going to re-air.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it was in the you probably skipped the credits. What's in the credits?
Oh, okay. It must have been popular. But
Yeah,
you
people
said
want
people on
like
the message boards were like
people
demanding
on the
it.
message boards really wanted it, really wanted to see it, so they re-aired it.
Hmm.
They probably aired it during what was called Flashback Port Charles, which is where they aired like the pre-arcs.
Right.
So I think that's where a lot of the time that's where
I
because
think
you notice that most of Port Charles is on YouTube. Just putting it out there, but but the reason why we got all of that Port Charles is because they did Flashback Port Charles.
Right. I remember the promos for Tainted Love. That's what got me intrigued by it because of the vampires. So I would like dipped in for a few weeks, and then I don't know, got busy or whatever. School,
Yeah.
maybe. No, it would have ended before school. I don't know. I didn't see it through. And then I remember them re-airing it, and I was like, "Oh, I get to see it from the beginning." And then I think I kind of watched it up until when I started watching, and then I stopped again. So us watching it for the podcast was actually the first time I saw the whole thing from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Although I did see the end, I must have tuned in just to see how they were going to wrap it up. Because I did remember that final scene on the roof.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as Tempted goes, I think that's all I have for this week.
Yeah, that's all I had for Tempted too. No promos either, which I'm
yeah, nothing still.
Yeah.
Not even like made for SoapNet promos.
No, none.
That's weird.
That's really weird. I remember that Miracles Happen has promos.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know that because I remember those, but like Tempted, nothing.
Yeah, which by the way, Princess Diaries 3 is gonna be made.
Why did they say was there a Princess Diaries 2 or 1?
There is no. So remember, Miracles Happen is in Princess Diaries 1.
Oh, I thought there was like a commercial.
I'm connecting the two.
I didn't like the second one.
I didn't like it either. I'm hoping the third one is good.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another edition of Port Charles Tempted. We'll be back probably next week with another week's worth of episodes. As always, you can find us on all the socials and Patreons. Our Patreon page at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great week. Bye.
Bye.